One thing we have to understand with trading is that you are not always going to win. Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Aurelie if you're new here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to give you guys an overall breakdown of every trade that I took this week, the winning trade, the losing trade, and the lessons that I've learned. So let's get into this video, but before that, let's talk about the lessons first. I don't know, but for some reason in today's video I want to talk about the lessons first, then we are going to dive into the various charts or the various trades that I took. So let's get it. I remember last week I was so excited about my trades. I was so excited about the wins that I made. However, this week is somehow different, not because I made a lot of losses, but just because it is not as good as it was last week. And it's bringing me back to the point where I used to hear some traders say some weeks are going to be good, other weeks are going to be bad, other weeks are going to be normal, some weeks are going to be average. Now, it shouldn't affect you psychologically to the point where you feel like, oh, you're doing something wrong and you have to change your strategy. And I am so proud of the fact that I have not thought of changing my strategy so far. However, I thought of studying my strategy a little bit more. This is where we talk about studies. It is very important to study because as a trader, studying never stops, because you're always going to make some mistakes and you realize that, oh, I have something new to learn here and there. Now I'll take you to my chart and we are going to talk about every trade that I took this week. And I took 4 trades this week compared to last one. No, last one I took 4 as well. This week I took 4 trades. I had a very busy week. I did not really have time to focus on my trades, and that is one of the major reasons why I took some losses here and there. Now, I had a trade on Monday, and unfortunately that was my first losing trade for the week. Then I took a trade on Tuesday. Tuesday, however, was kind of tricky. I took 2 trades on Tuesday because the setup that I saw on Euro USD, I was not too sure of this setup, and I spread my risks into 2, $15 on Euro USD and $15 on GBP JPY. That is each time I look at this trade, I'm like, why did I do that? Because the trade on Euro USD hits TP and the trade on GBP JPY hits stop loss. I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you feel like the trade that was not going to work actually works out, and the one you were like, oh, it's going to work out, does not work out. So yeah, that is what happened. On Wednesday, unfortunately, I couldn't take any trade because my trading time had already passed by the time I wanted to sit on my chart. On Thursday, I took 1 trade and I took a loss. On Friday, I took 1 trade and I had a winning trade. So let's go to the chart right now and we are going to talk about everything that happened and why I took these various trades. Let's go. So currently we are on my chart and this is the first trade that I took on Euro USD, and this trade took me out, then it went to TP, as you can see right here. As I always say, I target a 1:2, and this was a pretty 1:2 that did not work out. Now, why did I take this trade? If I take it to the 15-minute time frame, you're going to see that I should have normally sold, not buy, because you have a break of structure here. Price navigated that break of structure. Let's see the risk to reward that I would have had if I took a sell instead. So this is my selling point. I would have entered at fair value gap, stop loss at other block above here, and that would have given me a clean 1:2, and I was going to be done for this day. Right now I took a buy because when you look at it from the 15 minutes, because I mostly enter my trade on the 15-minute time frame, if you look at it from the 15-minute perspective, you will see that, let's get to that trade here. Okay, I'm beginning to feel like I forced some trades, and this is where I'll talk about you don't need to force anything, because this is what I was seeing. I was seeing this break of structure here, another break of structure here, then change of character. There was a fair value gap, so automatically I knew that price was going to tap and tap in here at this fair value gap here, then take me out at this fair value gap somewhere here. So I was targeting a 1:2, and that did not work out. Now let's talk about the trade on Tuesday. This is Tuesday's trade, and that is exactly what happened. Break of structure, tapped in for a 1:2, and price gave me exactly what I wanted. It even gave me a 1:3. Price gave me 1:3, and that was it. Yeah. Now if we look on the second trade that I took on GBP JPY, let's go and look for that trade. On my chart, you're going to notice that I have a lot of pairs here, but it's literally 3: gold, Euro USD, and GBP JPY. The reason why I have them differently is because I have a one I used to study, one I use for my setup, and one I use for analyzing that trade, that the trade, that the market that particular day. So JVP JPY, I am looking for the trade that I took on Wednesday. It's not here. I think it should be here. Okay. Oh, it's not here too. Oh, I was looking out for a buy on Wednesday somewhere here. I was looking out for a buy on JBP JPY. I don't know why I can't find it, but I know exactly where that was. So I will take it to the chart and I'll show you exactly where that was. Okay, here is it. I was looking for a sell. Sorry, I was looking for a sell. Meanwhile, the market had not finished buying. So I was looking for a sell here because I saw this fair value gap here, so I knew price was going to tap me in and drop. That did not happen, unfortunately. We had this massive buy before we started seeing this sell that has been happening so far. Now on Thursday there was no trade. No, on Wednesday, sorry, there was no trade on Wednesday, so I took no trade. On Thursday I took a trade on Euro USD and it was a losing trade. That was yesterday. I still don't understand why this trade hit me out for stop loss, but I can just say it's all part of the game because I don't even know what reason I'm going to give right here. But let's look for the trades together. This is Wednesday. It should be, no, this is not it. This is today's trade. I can't find it. Okay, this is it right here. This is yesterday's trade. Now I was looking for a buy. I won't lie, my buy was to some extent valid. This is why I'm saying so. Price broke out of this fair value gap. If I go on the 4 hours, you are going to see that this was a 4-hour fair value gap here that price actually broke out of. Price created this fair value gap. So according to me, if price breaks out of a fair value gap, I should be looking for a buy. Like if it breaks to the upside, I should be looking for a buy, and that is exactly what I did. However, price was actually mitigating this fair value gap here in order for it to sell. That is what I didn't see very well. So I took this trade and it took me out. Then it never even hit TP. So if you can see here, it never hit CP, so it took me out and that was it. So let's look for the last trade we took today, and that was on still Euro USD, and this was a very beautiful trade. This trade hits me for a 1:2, and this made me to recover for every losses that I made this week. Now let's talk about how much I made. On Monday I made $30. I lost $30. On Tuesday I made $30 and I lost $15, so I was left with $15, right? On Wednesday I made $0. On Thursday I made I lost $30, and on Friday, which is today, I made $60. So that's leaving me all with a total of. So I'm going to leave you guys with the P&L for this week, and I'm going to leave everything here on my chart. So you're going to on my screen, sorry. So you're going to see exactly what happened. But the more I am moving into this thing, the more I realize that it is not as easy as we make it to look like. The more you walk into this industry, or the more you trade, the more you build confidence. Is true. I have built some sort of confidence so far, knowing that I can make money. I don't overtrade anymore. That is one thing that I'm really grateful for. I don't overtrade anymore. I know when to trade, I know when not to trade. And one of the most important things is the moment I hit stop loss, I just stop trading. I walk away from my PC. That is one thing that took me a lot of time to finally practice, because I heard it a lot from different people, but now that I can actually practice it, it makes me so glad. So this week actually ended with a profit, not as much as I wanted it to. However, it is still something. Now, I am currently out of drawdown, which is very amazing. I am so glad to be finally out of drawdown and in profit. I am left with approximately $130 in order for me to pass phase one of my account, and next is going to be phase two. Now, I want to pass phase one and phase two before I buy a second account. I am actually planning on buying a second account, but not at this moment. So, this is literally how my week went when it comes to trading this week. I didn't have a lot of things going on. I am planning that from this upcoming week, I am going to be sharing with you highlights of how I trade, when I take trades, and etc. etc. some clips so that you guys are going to have like an inside view of every trade that I take, my reaction to trades, and every other thing. Because I feel like sometimes talking, you don't really understand. It is different. Talking is different from when you actually see what is actually happening to that person who is taking those trades. So this is literally what I had to share with you guys this week. It was an amazing week so far. I followed every rule that I had to follow, and I am so grateful for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm definitely going to see you in another video. Bye.